Joe from climbing up that ladder and getting to where you are. Maybe if you break down some of those barriers, now you've got a floodgate. Now you've got all kinds of people that have maybe the tools, the means to compete with you, right? And now you're actually threatened.
Yeah.
Allowing a few minorities on your board of directors doesn't threaten you.
No.
Bringing down the barriers that prevent everybody from doing and being what you are. That threatens you.
Yeah, I think that's why the accelerated rate of technology is so, well, for one, so exponential, but also just so incredibly impactful. Because it's becoming.
We're not prepared for it.
No, that's what I mean. We're not we're not
flying off into the abyss.
We're not morally prepared for it. We're not spiritually prepared for it. We're not, we're just not not intellectually prepared for it. And it's gonna take people being unafraid to play with fire, but at the same time, reinvigorating, as you say, the actual what they think is the patriarchy, but isn't. You know what I mean? The actual.
That's what it is. I think that what I just described is what they think the patriarchy is.
And since they can't contextualize it, so that what do? They
pick it.
I see it.
White men.
Yeah. It's a straight white guy. That must be the problem. It's no.
It's
not exactly.
It's
a little more complicated than that.
Yeah. That's the thing about these SJWs is there's a seed of truth in almost every one of their points.
Yeah.
And so the structure is oppressive.
It's so wrong from there on out.
Yeah, and they oversimplify and run miles off in the wrong directions with it.
Yeah.
But because there is that impressive structure. However, you have to really want it because people do get through all that stuff and make it to the top. It happens. It's a very small amount of people.
Look at Elon Musk. He's trying his best.
It's you gotta, someone has to have the mental fortitude and the competence and the patience to be able to sift through that goddamn mess of red tape to trickle your way up anything.
And it's true.
And it takes some exceptional people. And people think that, the reason there's only 7 women at the top 100 CEOs or whatever, the top companies, whatever, it's not that men are pushing against women. They're pushing against other men.
They're pushing against everybody.
Yeah, it's they're all in competition. It's people think that we're just getting this big old male, let me grab your dick and pull you on up here with me.
Yeah.
It's no, it's all at war in those businesses against everyone. It's it takes a special kind of person to be able to tolerate.
It's do you want to bust your chops for hours and hours?
It's like women don't think that the people that are the other men around us men aren't trying to outcompete us on every single thing that we do.
Alpha males eat each other.
Yeah.
Eat each other alive.
Yeah, it's
it's not like this fun little hoedown for boys only, It's
but it's easier to think about the world that way.
Yeah.
It's much easier.
It's the most basic tribalistic thing to divide it into us and them, right?
Yeah. And I mean, and to a degree that the fact that there are all these screwy convoluted rules, there is a certain kind of utility to it, which is that you're going to get people that are reaching the top that are very orderly, are very are very structured, very disciplined, etc., etc., and smart. As well as smart, because you have to have the drive, and you can't be an idiot to put all those things together. Yeah. What it filters out is imagination and innovative ideas. That's why Jordan Peterson says you need the people on this side to do all the bureaucratic busy work, and then you need the creative people to come up with the idea, right? And usually it's the team that works together.
Yeah.
But having said that, I mean, so much of this...
That's the way it ideally would work 100% of the time.
But it doesn't work. And what if you are that creative person with a brilliant idea, and you're starting off on a shoestring, you're at a minimum wage job, and you just have a great idea, right? Now what are you going to do? You have to convince some some paper pusher to work with you for free to help you start your company, and then share half of it with them because of a rule that a thing that doesn't really functionally accomplish anything. Okay, so maybe he would. Maybe that creative guy would start off his business and it would go well for a while, and then maybe it would tank after that because he's not disciplined enough.
Yeah.
But why throw the extra roadblock in his way? You know, maybe he might come up with something in his brief time before he crashes and burns that can actually give back to society.
Yeah, that helps out all of us. Yeah.
That helps out all of us. Maybe he comes up with an idea and he patents it, and even though his company went nowhere, some other company that had a bunch of those super conscientious people and orderly business structure types, maybe they're like, you know, that's a great idea. And we know of him because he had the capacity to be visible, right?
I think that's where the real value in, and perhaps like sheer and utter necessity to, because I'm kind of having this thought occur in my head that like as psychology progresses as a discipline, it will kind of turn into our modern day religion in some way. Because
to a degree, I could see that.
And so I mean that's just
the best way we have of like conceptualizing who we are and why we do things.
Exactly, and so it's grounded in science, and you know, especially people like Jung and Peterson who didn't, you know, shy away from mythology and symbolism and things like that. It's finding out what you're like as an individual, as much as to a degree that you can filter out your own biases about yourself to come to no easy
small task whatsoever.
But provided that you might be able to get some headway with it and just notice, you know what, I am kind of disagreeable. I'm kind of a dick. I'm
I know I am.
Yeah. Well, it's surely it's the utility in a lot of ways. It's useful, and but otherwise we wouldn't have people who are like that. And but so it's like the proper development, perhaps, for someone who's super disagreeable is to, you know, once a month maybe do something nice for someone. You know, just start practicing. Find that weak spot that you have. That's not like, because if you want to be a completely, fully integrated human being, you might want to find out where you're starting from. Or say if you're really agreeable and you get walked all over all the time because you won't stand up for yourself or something like that. Like start learning how to be a little more assertive and push against that wall and start expanding. Like say your general disposition is still agreeable, kind, but then you have the ability, you cultivate the ability to go off and be assertive, even if it's uncomfortable and you don't like doing it. You just have to sometimes. Sometimes your roommate screws you up. Exactly, that's the idea. So then, you know, maybe the really creative person who is really disorderly and, you know, all over the place and not very disciplined, it's like, well, that might be the area to push against those walls, because it's going to allow you to actually capitalize on your own creativity. But, you know, that's just like a lot easier said than done, of course. It's like the ultimate task to take upon anyone's self for the duration of their life, too.
Oh, for sure. There's nothing that, well, there's not nothing, but doing something that you want to do and achieving excellence in something that you want to do is a lot different than achieving excellence in something you want nothing to do with whatsoever.
Maybe that people have told you should want, and you just are following that idea and not really informed by your own passions.
Yeah,
that happens a lot.
It does. It does happen a lot. Well, we're gears and cogs, you know. I mean, that's kind of why I started my own business function. I'm a very kind of creative. I think I definitely, even though I'm disagreeable, I fall more on the creative side of the spectrum than the, you know, fastidious, organized. Like, I love efficient systems. But I love coming to efficient systems creatively.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like...
Red-green.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, so...
Yeah, you can be like high in... Because isn't it the trait openness divides into creativity and openness proper? And then agreeableness is its own separate trait. So you could be low in agreeableness and high in openness and be creative, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that might be the optimal balance, because then you are tough enough to like present your idea and not be afraid of getting your feelings hurt too bad. But this is another problem with SJWs too, if we're going to head back on that.
Which is SJ.
It's just like, that's the beating them into the ground. It's like, you know, I'm sorry, life is hard. It's going to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
You're never going to have this situation where you're never going to be uncomfortable, never going to have your feelings hurt, never going to... It's like, fuck, man. Just...
They'll try.
Yeah.
They'll try, but okay.
There's
so
Norman Deutsch who said like something like they want to turn the whole world into a group therapy session.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Here's the thing: what's going to make a stronger society? Training, because all these people have been trained to be offended.
Yeah,
they've been trained. They've been raised to be, offended by everything, by their teachers, probably by their parents, probably by whatever peer groups that they have. Mm-hmm. There's a choice that you can make. You can decide to be offended, and it will lower your quality of life.
Yeah. Because
everything is going to upset you, and you're going to be in a constant state of, lying on your fainting couch, right?
Yeah.
Or we can teach children, and when I say train, I mean teach kids, like in school, and these are the attitudes, and this is kind of how it's actually been for a very long time. At least with men is, kind of buck up. That's the kind of the attitude, right? You can take it. You can handle it. Be strong, right?
Yeah, you got this.
Women kind of got the, a little bit more of the kid glove handling in history as far as that kind of, everyone expects them to be a little bit more emotional. There's utility in that. They are, and there's a utility in that because they need to be able to raise children and
without going,
hey, some of them do.
Yeah, right. And I mean this idea that men or women are not more suited to raise children than men. Well, I can stop you right at the fact that you have baby milk making machines on your chest. I mean, that's right there. You're already more suited than we are. Flat out, right? You produce food. We can't. You're like the most important thing to a baby. A baby can at least survive without us, right?
Yeah.
But
a baby that grows up without their mom is I think it's Pearson was talking about a client of his or a patient. What would be the right word?
Client. Either.
So this person had lost their mother for whatever reason at a very, very young age, and she would comment on it saying it feels like there's some fundamental chunk of me taken out that can never be replaced by anything. I never have that thing. Mm-hmm. It's because the mother instills the capacity to trust in things. You're just things literally being helplessly carried around and fed and held and nurtured. It's those fundamental, the fact that you can stand up on your own 2 feet and feel like the whole world isn't going to crash in around you. That mother is that protective, nurturing, caring, trusting force. And then, and these are oversimplifications and obviously, but and then the father's more classical role would be,
the strength, the pillar of strength,
encouraging, and so you need the two. I mean, men and women co-evolve together to.
The idea that
women made the patriarchy, dude.
Right? The idea that this is, and this is where they are losing people. This is. It's because
it doesn't work. The tactic of being offended all the time doesn't function.
No.
You can make a movie
and have
a protagonist who just gets just demolished at every single offhanded comment, or you could have a protagonist in a film who's unfazed by that kind of thing. Who would be more admirable to the audience?
Yeah.
The audience,
or maybe they get phased. Maybe they get phased, but then they overcome it.
Yeah. Right?
Imagine.
Well, that's the message then, right? Yeah. That's the hero story too.
Yeah.
It's I don't know whose quote it is. I'm sure everyone says it now. It's just sometimes you're going to be afraid, so you're just going to have to do it afraid.
Yeah,
and that's courage.
The Avengers didn't end the Avengers by having a long talk with Loki and asking him to stop, and he kind of, that's not the story. That's not the hero story.
Yeah.
And the thing about the SJWs that's all. They don't seem to have any appreciation or respect for the fact that everything that they're asking for, nobody has to give them. Nobody, and they never seem to appreciate.
I think that's why it's so dark that the big corporate entities that they seem to hate so much are kind of being like,
capitulating.
Okay, guys, we'll do it. We'll play ball, as if to like fucking just like, oh, it's like the fucking CEOs they hate so much are going, oh well, you know what? If these people are gonna get all fucking up in arms and at each other's throats, maybe a communist system would benefit us at the top here more, effectively or whatever.
Oh, it would.
That's what I'm saying, right? So like, it's like by being so vocal and being